Hello, everyone. Welcome to this video on what I'm referring to as the city strategy. And that strategy it's the kind of the exponentially growing domino strategy. Actually, it is exponentially growing because first one city will follow, like might be Portland or it might be New York. And then you'll hear about 10 cities all following, you know, um, because um, whereas hunger, ending large-scale animal agriculture, ending commercial fishing. This is all very serious business. And that people can just get right. It's not rocket science that if you decimate the Amazon to make way for cattle ranching, so people can anyway. Um, it's obvious that that's killing the Amazon. I mean, it's just like, so that's all obvious. What's not so obvious to some people is what the heck there is to do about climate change. And then, in fact, climate change itself is a misnomer. Um, it's global warming. The planet's overheating. Yeah, of course, that's causing climate to change. Duh. Look at how the climate changed recently in Jamaica. Excuse me. Seattle is going to get it. Thank goodness for the University of Washington, right? And the Department of Atmospheric Sciences having the courage to pioneer marine cloud brightening. So even though we're not the biggest city on earth, there are cities that are goodness, so many times bigger than us. But we are so beckoning for utopia, right? We're so close. And what it takes to get there is going to be this cash flow positive, that will use the surplus funds after we've paid whatever taxes and whatnot to simply expand, right? Um, so Seattle is just going to take off like wildfire, just within the boundaries of the city, and then quickly spill over to the rest of the metropolis. And everyone's going to be talking about the miracle of Seattle. So again, the food part's obvious. With so many smart people getting into the conversation, with so many people with scientific backgrounds, right, with technology backgrounds who can actually understand really and really truly grasp the physics of what's going on with planetary overheating and the myriad vicious cycles that are, all conspiring to create this intense exponential um, of rate of overheating. Seattle is going to figure that out. Seattle is going to master that. And in so doing, she is going to set the example for the world. Here is the math. Let us break it down for you, you know. And if some, congressman from some oil-rich state wants to challenge that, please, let's have a national debate. So the whole climate slash global warming thing is going to be like this giant emperor's new clothes moment where we were all kind of playing stupid. I think partly because we were all so busy hoarding is the ugly truth of it, or trying to hoard, whether we succeeded or failed. Hoarding was our focus, right, for so much of humanity. And so many of us got so rich that our hubris grew to such a point because we told ourselves we deserved it, we earned it, whatever. Um, our hubris was such that we simply couldn't imagine it all going away. And if all these other wealthy people are all, none of them seem too concerned about this whole weird polycrisis thing, let the academics sort it out or let the UN sort it out. Not my job. My job is to hoard, right? So we're going to make this radical transformation from a city that's, you know, at least in the last few decades, really been characterized by a lot of hoarding to a compassionate city. So Seattle is just going to undergo this radical transformation. The city that figured out global warming, the city that figured out how to end hunger, the city that figured out how to get the world to go plant-based, just with those three alone and the ramifications, we're already in superstardom status as far as cities go. And so all the other cities are going to be both supporting Seattle, watch the donations flow in, for Hungerless in Seattle, and copying Seattle, But no one's going to outdo Seattle because law number one of the 22 immutable laws of marketing, please look up the book by Rise and Trout. Law number one, it's better to be first than it is to be better. So Seattle is going to freaking own the bundle categories of polycrisis and her solutions, you know, including Hungerless in Seattle, including Seattle Cool, including, dot, 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 dot. Right down the line across all of the specific crisis solution pair categories within the big bundle of polycrisis, polysolution. Anyway, the fact that it's happening in the most beautiful city in the world, arguably the most beautiful city in the world. There are other beautiful cities, but goodness, hard to beat Seattle. And in terms of climate and in terms of diversity and in terms of, anyway, so many kudos I could give, but also at the same time, a lot of negatives in our history. Those are obvious. I don't want to dwell on the negative right now. I really want to focus on the positive. And in so doing, let's solve every single imaginable negative. All right. Anyway, that's what I have to say about the city strategy. I've probably said more than I should in terms of time because I'm trying to make these videos short. So apologies for that. And thank you so much for your time and your kind attention and curiosity and open-heartedness to all this. Thank you.